Yes, my name is John G. Sutton. Welcome to Tales from the Jails. I'm going to discuss today about a murderer that I encountered, a particularly obnoxious individual who came into my field of operations in the year 1984. And he was a killer who was a multiple murderer, and he was involved in what's known as the Goyt Valley murders. You can Google these, yeah? You spell it Goyt, Goyt Valley murders, and they were committed in 1983. And the man in question was called Peter Murray. Now, Peter Murray was a big, fat, obnoxious individual, obviously something intellectually wrong, because what he'd done was he'd recruited much younger boys to be in what he called his gang. You want to be in my gang? Yeah, well, they were in his gang, except what his gang did was lure young men of 17, 18, 19 years of age, round about that, on the pretext of getting them work, and they took them to a place called Goyt Clough in the Goyt Valley, and there is a public lavatory in there, and in that public lavatory they sexually abused them, stripped them naked, and kicked them and strangled them and basically tortured them to death. Not nice people at all, in fact, if I say so myself. Yeah. So anyway, this is early 1984, and Peter Murray, the leader of this gang, uh, was on A1 landing, which was part of the prison hospital unit at Strangeways, and I was a hospital officer. And Peter Murray had been trying to throw his weight around and managed to get himself stripped off and thrown into what in effect was a padded cell, but was really just a strip cell. And he had just a very strong blanket so that he couldn't hang himself or anything like that. A plastic pot, and that was it. And I was in charge of the landing that particular day, and basically made sure that Murray was okay and everybody else was all right. That was my duty. It wasn't anything onerous. Just give them the medication and maintain discipline. So it came to be about 2:30 in the afternoon, and the telephone went, and I answered the telephone in the landing office, and it was security saying, "We're moving Peter Murray. He's going to Risley. He's going to go 3:30 or 4 o'clock, whatever it was. Get him ready." So, fair enough. I went to see Murray, and I said to him, "Right, Murray, I opened the door, as you do. I had somebody behind me. I opened the door. I said, "Murray, you're going to Risley. Now, we're going to have to get you dressed. I'm going to get you some clothing, so tell me what size shirt you take." And Murray kicks up. "You're not sending me to Risley, you effing bastard. I'll take you." I said, "Listen, you're going to Risley, yeah? Size of shirt? Alright, I estimate you take size 17 collar, because you're a big fella. He was about 17 stone, maybe 18 stone, about 6'1", big lump of a lad. And I said, size of your trousers? I'm not bloody telling you anything, I'm not going to Risley. I said, alright, I estimate size 40. I said, so that's it. Shut the cell door. Got the landing red van to go and get me the clothing from the clothing store, the laundry thing, where they had the fresh laundry. Size 17 shirt, size 40 trousers. Went back to the cell, chucked him a pair of shoes and socks in size 10 shoes. I'd have guessed them, about that, And said, right, get yourself dressed, you're going to Risley. I'm not going, I'll take your bloody head off, you bastard. Threw the clothing on the floor and shut the door. So about half an hour later, they get a call from the gate. You know, the security wagons coming in. They're going to pick. They're going to pick Murray up from the end of A Wing and take him off to Risley. Take him out. So they came through the end door at the end of A Wing. You know. So sure enough, I opened the door to let them in. They were from Risley, you see. They didn't have keys to our landings, you know, our cells or doors or anything, but I did. Yeah, so I opened it up, got the staff behind me, got a couple of staff behind me. Went to get Murray out of his cell, opened it up, and he's still in the cell, naked. And I said, "Put your clothes on." "You're not sending me to Risley, I'll." So at this point, I decided there's no point discussing any further with this man who was obviously an obnoxious bully who was used to getting his way, which was a little bit unfortunate for him because me being the jailer, I was used to getting my way. You know, so if I say you're going to Risley, then you're going to Risley, you know. So I shot the bolt on the door, went into the cell, got hold of Murray by the top of his head, yeah, which is one of my favourite tricks. People who get hold of the top of their head, lift them up a little bit, and you grab them by the back of the neck, and you drag them out, you see. And that's what I did. He was kicking a bit, but that's alright, I'm quite happy with that. Dragged him out the cell, start naked, onto the landing, and the officers from Risley said, "He's naked." I said, "That's why he wants to go to Risley. He wants to go naked, don't you?" Seriously. And Peter Murray's shouting, "I'll murder you, you bastard. He says, I'll come back and find you, Sutton. If it takes 20 years, I'll murder you. I'll come back and kill you anyway." We got him into the back of the van, naked. "Get in there, you young man, you know, as you do, you know. Gently. As gently as it was possible to do in the circumstances." Screaming and shouting he's going to murder me. Anyway, Peter Murray didn't come back and murder me. He was dead. He died in prison in the year 2006 of heart failure, I believe. Natural causes. But he was a very dangerous man, and he had murdered and tortured innocent young men to death for no other reason than for his own personal sexual gratification. The dirty, horrible bastard. And he didn't manage to kill me, and he went to Risley, kicking, screaming, and stark bollock naked. Thank you very much.